There was a time, not long ago, when a single bird species filled the skies of North America in numbers almost too large to imagine. The sound of their wings was like thunder. The skies darkened for hours, sometimes even days. People would stop and stare in awe. This wasn't fiction. This was real. They were called passenger pigeons, and within just a few decades, they were gone. Passenger pigeons weren't just birds. They were a phenomenon. In the 1800s, scientists estimate there were 3 to 5 billion of them. That's nearly 4 out of every 10 birds in North America. Eyewitnesses described flocks so thick the sun would disappear behind them. They moved together like flowing rivers in the sky, and their sheer numbers were mind-blowing. Some flocks stretched over 300 miles long and took hours to pass overhead. They were fast, too, reaching speeds of up to 60 miles per hour. To many, they were a symbol of nature's abundance, a reminder that the earth was full of life and energy. No one thought such a bird could ever vanish. But nature had a different lesson to teach. The passenger pigeon wasn't just large in number, it was special in behavior too. They were deeply social. Everything they did, eating, flying, roosting, nesting, they did together. They nested in massive colonies that covered miles of forest. In one colony, a single tree could hold dozens of nests. Entire forests echoed with their coos and flapping wings. They preferred hardwood forests, rich with oak, chestnut, and beech trees, because their favorite foods were acorns, nuts, and berries. Their role in the ecosystem was huge. As they foraged, they stirred the soil, spread seeds, broke branches, and fertilized the ground with their droppings. They weren't just part of the ecosystem, they were shaping it. But even with their strength in numbers, they had one weakness. They laid just one egg per nest. And that would prove devastating later on. In the 1800s, as the human population in America grew, so did its hunger for meat, for money, and for land. Passenger pigeons became a commodity. They were hunted by the millions, their meat sold in markets across cities. Because they traveled in such huge flocks, hunters didn't even need to aim carefully. They could shoot blindly into the sky and still hit dozens. Technologies like the telegraph and railroads made things worse. Telegraphs helped hunters find nesting sites. Trains allowed tons of pigeon meat to be shipped to cities every day. Children threw rocks at nests. Hunters used giant nets. Even explosives were used to bring them down faster. And as the forests fell to logging and farms, the pigeons had fewer places to live. They tried to breed in smaller groups, but it didn't work. Their survival depended on huge numbers. As their population fell, breeding became less successful. The flock got smaller, and then it collapsed. By 1900, they were almost completely gone from the wild. The last confirmed wild passenger pigeon, a bird named Buttons, was shot in Ohio in 1900. And on September 1st, 1914, at exactly 1 p.m., the last known living passenger pigeon, a bird named Martha, died in a cage at the Cincinnati Zoo. She died alone. Once the most numerous bird on the planet, now a memory. Their extinction didn't just leave empty skies. It changed to forests. Passenger pigeons helped open up forest canopies by breaking branches during roosting. This let light reach the forest floor, helping young oak trees grow. Without them, those forests changed. New trees couldn't grow as easily. Old trees weren't replaced. The natural cycle was broken. Their droppings fertilized the soil. With them gone, less nutrients reached the ground. The ecosystem slowed down. Even worse, their absence may have led to more Lyme disease in humans. How? Well, pigeons ate huge numbers of seeds, especially white oak acorns. Without them, white-footed mice, which feed on these seeds, began to thrive. These mice are a main carrier of the bacteria that causes Lyme disease. More mice, more ticks, more Lyme. Even today, we feel the ghost of their extinction. The story of the passenger pigeon teaches us this: abundance is not protection. Being everywhere doesn't mean being safe. The pigeons were billions strong, but they had one weakness. They needed each other. Their society, their survival, all depended on being together in huge numbers. Once we shattered that, they couldn't recover. This is why conservation matters. Their extinction led to the creation of new laws, like the Lacey Act and the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, designed to stop this kind of tragedy from happening again. But laws only work if we learn and remember. Today, a bold scientific effort is underway. It's called the Great Passenger Pigeon Comeback, led by a group called Revive and Restore. They're using genetic engineering to try and bring back a bird like the passenger pigeon by editing the DNA of its close relative, the band-tailed pigeon. Using techniques like CRISPR, they hope to hatch new birds between 2029 and 2032. It's not about cloning. It's about restoring an ecological function, bringing back a bird that once shaped forests, to heal what was lost. But there are big questions. Will these new birds survive in today's world? Will they suffer? Are we playing with life in ways we shouldn't? We don't have all the answers. But one thing is certain. The passenger pigeon's story is still being written. Nature is not invincible. Species that seem endless can vanish within a single lifetime. The passenger pigeon didn't go extinct 1,000 years ago. It happened just over a century ago, in a world not too different from ours. A world that took too much, too fast, and gave too little back. Their story is a warning, but also a call to action. Let's protect what remains. Let's listen to the lessons nature left us. Let's not let the next Martha die alone. From billions to none, the story of the passenger pigeon is a story of us. Protect today, preserve tomorrow.